In a world where we are inundated with negative messages, there is a place of hope, a place where helping hands, loving hearts, acts of kindness, servant attitudes, and community builders change bad news to good. A place where people like you, people who bring a passion and desire to give back, change lives. Thank you for being the good. Over the last 35 years, we have had great people join our ranks as dedicated volunteers, donors, staff, board members, and clients. These outstanding individuals have built Good News Project into what it is today. Without the many talents, ideas, sweat, joys, and challenges of those who have gone before us, our organization would not be the vital link in our community that we see today. Good News volunteers and donors have adapted right along with us as we have tended to the changing needs of people both locally and abroad. Our teams have built a great reputation. We helped to establish a children's home and served many other institutions in the Caribbean, built nearly 400 homes for impoverished people, and serve people at home with a health equipment lending program, electronic recycling program, and U.S. service trips. People in 5 island countries and areas of the U.S. have welcomed us, worked with us, and benefited from our work. Most of us go about our daily lives and never think about durable medical equipment. But what would you do if your loved one experienced an accident or illness that left them hospitalized? What if the only way they could come home was to have hundreds of dollars of medical equipment purchased to ensure their safety and ability to live independently? What if their insurance didn't cover the cost? Our health equipment lending program is here to help. There are people in our community who face the challenge of independent living daily. Health issues, injuries, or surgical procedures can take a toll on a patient and the caregiver. A simple walker or cane may enable a person to travel safely from their chair to the kitchen and back again. A bath bench may allow an individual to maintain good hygiene and therefore self-esteem. A raised toilet seat might provide a few private moments at a time when personal dignity is needed. Any of those items may translate to a few moments of quiet time for the caregiver. How different lives can be when provided proper, durable medical equipment. Our help closet is growing in leaps and bounds. We never dreamed that it would become such an amazing outreach program when it started over 10 years ago. This is not just a place where people get durable medical equipment. It is a safe place where people are heard and seen. Here, weary caregivers and worried loved ones are given an opportunity to vent and sometimes mourn as they share some of their burdens. Good News Project has become a part of so many recovery stories, and we have seen how meaningful our role has been in these stories as clients return to us, even 10 years later, to report on their journey. Here, you have the chance to be the one to help by staying on the lookout for durable medical equipment at garage sales or through friends and neighbors, and gathering those donations for our loan closet. You can be the one to share by telling people about our program or by distributing our brochures. You can be the one to give by volunteering your time to help clean, sanitize, and organize items. Or you can be the one to connect people with much needed medical equipment through your referrals. One person can make a difference, and that one person can be you. Our eCycle program has had more of an impact on our organization over the years than we could ever have imagined. 13 years ago, we were exploring ways to create a sustainable fundraiser in addition to our appeals, events, and annual campaigns. The original idea came from a volunteer, and we started our recycling program with Saturday events about 8 times per year. Now open every Friday between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., our eCycling program brings in roughly 26% of our annual income. We've also added 4 off-site events, partnering with other organizations to offer responsible recycling to areas that wouldn't otherwise have access. The presence of this program under our roof has helped us build excellent partnerships and business support in our local community. Environmentally conscious volunteers and folks who consider themselves computer nuts love this outlet for their service-minded energies. What is the factor that has been the biggest drive towards our program growth? It's you. Most of our first-time customers list word of mouth as the way they've become aware of the need to recycle electronics and the way they found out about our program. It's through education and advocacy that we create change. This does not have to be a complicated process. It can be as simple as letting a friend, neighbor, or loved one know that they can recycle their electronics in a safe, data-secure way through Good News Project. In the last fiscal year, we managed to keep over 225,000 pounds of electronic waste out of our environment and provided data-secure, responsible recycling for 2,779 customers. So far this year, 1,861 customers have recycled 180,943 pounds. These numbers can only go up as people learn about our program from advocates like you. Now is the time to be the voice and let people know they have the power to make a huge environmental impact by recycling their electronics with a trusted source like Good News Project. Our trips and international service programming has been the backbone of Good News for the entire 35 years. Our focus of outreach has been 3 small islands in the Caribbean: St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and Dominica. We believe our service to one another is built on relationship, and these relationships make international borders dissolve. They make us open to laughing at ourselves as we maneuver through language and cultural barriers. These relationships build strong ties which cause our hearts to ache for our friends as a hurricane passes through or a volunteer we worked alongside of passes away unexpectedly. Our volunteers hold hands, sing with inmates, pray with the elderly, and build new homes board by board for families in need. In 2018, we built our 399th house in Dominica, housing 1,418 people. We are hoping to finish number 400 this year. Sign up for our international service trips is in full swing, and we are hoping to send full teams to St. Vincent, St. Lucia, and Dominica in 2019. When Hurricane Maria hit Dominica, Good News Project began a hurricane relief fund immediately. In January, the local Northern GNP Committee assessed the damages and began repairing houses with the money we raised. In March, a humanitarian shipment left our warehouse with medical and construction goods. In April 2018, we were able to send 11 volunteers to Dominica. As with all GNP service trips, they paid their own way to help our brothers and sisters in need. They worked alongside one another and the Dominican volunteers to build 5 houses with additional relief funds. The 6th house was built this summer. We will continue to send money for new houses and repairs as long as the donations continue to flow for this purpose. Our strategic planning efforts guided us in a direction of expanding trips to be more accessible to volunteers and people in our own country. We asked ourselves, what barriers do prospective volunteers face? The cost of a trip and 2-week commitment to a trip were prohibitive to some enthusiastic volunteers. 3 years ago, we found a way to accommodate more volunteers and serve a new population in need. In Lumberton, North Carolina, in the aftermath of Hurricane Matthew, Good News Project's nation-based hurricane relief was born. Why Lumberton? Imagine that you live in the most impoverished community in your state. You're raising your family on just $15,000 a year, but somehow you are managing to make ends meet. Now imagine losing everything you have in an unexpected flood. It takes nearly a year and a half, but you are back in your home after months of hard work. You are just beginning to reclaim some normalcy in your life. Now imagine that 6 short months after you've moved back into your home, you lose it all again in another violent flood. This has become the reality for many. One of the biggest challenges that the community of Lumberton faces is the loss of hope. 2 years after Hurricane Matthew devastated the area, people are giving up, abandoning their homes, and moving on. With the new devastation caused by Hurricane Florence, it has become even harder to fight to stay in their homes. Through serving this community, we can help restore the hope for those who have begun to lose hope. By returning to Lumberton, we can make a huge difference in the lives of families that have so little. Good News Project has sent teams to Lumberton, North Carolina to aid in recovery efforts for the last 2 years, and 2019 will be no exception. Anyone can be a part of spreading hope to the families of Lumberton by joining us, as we are looking for all skill levels. We've grown to love the people of Lumberton and hope that you'll consider serving this community as well. The property and grounds at Good News Project on 1106 5th Street have never been more appealing to behold. After acquiring the land to the west of our warehouse, this past spring we were able to begin putting in a parking area and access to the alley. We've added green space, and our fantastic volunteers have tackled the taming of the gardens with beautiful results. We are so pleased to have the extra room for customers and volunteers and hope to complete Phase 2 next spring with asphalt and additional landscaping. 2018 is quickly coming to a close, and we look forward to shipping 2 more loads of humanitarian building supplies and durable medical equipment to the West Indies. We are also excited to be facilitating service opportunities for volunteers in the West Indies again in January 2019. We are still in need of volunteers to help with our outreach efforts. We specifically need volunteers who are seasoned carpenters or fix-it types to help build homes for the poor. We are looking forward to growing in the new year. How does a volunteer, customer, or client hear about Good News Project in the first place? Word of mouth is still the single most effective way that people end up at our doorstep. The good news is spreading. Combining hands, hearts, donations, and talent has really put Good News Project on the map in the last 35 years. Thank you for nourishing the efforts of this organization and serving your brothers and sisters in need alongside us. Here is to the next 35 years of being the good.